Iggy's from Detroit, is he not?
Bet your life, yeah. Yes, from a trailer camp, in fact. He was, I think that was where he was born.
Interesting to note that the punk movement is generally pinned on England.
Yes, well, I think, I really feel that Iggy had an awful lot to do with it. And the whole look of his band, the whole feeling, what they were saying, the way they were throwing abuse out and sort of they wouldn't tolerate anybody. They didn't want to be liked, they didn't want to be hated. I mean, the whole feeling of it had the same kind of energy that the punk movement first had in the middle to late 70s.
As much as disco was a tremendous movement of music in the decade, certainly what has become known as punk rock was as well.
It was a vital necessity at the time. Everything was again becoming complacent, and everybody said, yes, well, this is such, and this is how it goes, and we've all got our futures planned, and it was getting too technical again. Everybody wanted to be great guitarists, and that particular period, great synthesizer players, and
rich.
And rich. Oh, that was a decided point. And then these sort of ragged-assed little street muffins came along with instruments they'd either stolen or sort of got on hire purchase, and said, no, we want to be superstars, and we want to sing about the conditions that we know about. We can't afford to go to rock concerts and see bands and things, so we'll just sing about the neighbours or about the girls and things that we do, or that we don't want to do, in places we don't want to go. But again, a lot of the element of that came out of bands like the Seeds or the 13th Floor Elevators, and really weird ones like the Moving Sidewalks or Jefferson Handkerchiefs, do you know?
No, I don't.
These are some incredible bands in the 60s that had that very same feeling. I mean, they tried very hard to say something but couldn't really think of very much to say, so they said it loudly, and it was just as effective and just as important.
That's one of the great things about rock and roll, isn't it? That every time it gets a little too complacent, rock and roll comes and kicks everybody in the behind once again.
It has to do.
And that's really the very soul of it.
Yes.
The very foundation of what it's all about.
I find that the most exciting part of it. When it gets really quiet, I can't wait because I know something's around the corner.
There's somebody lurking out there.
Yeah.
Were you a Sex Pistols fan?
In fact, by the time I got back to England, most of that had sort of pretty much died down. I was working pretty much in Germany most of that period, in Berlin. I liked the guys a lot. I met them a few times. I never ever saw them on stage. I can imagine the kind of energy it must have been like, but I'd love to have seen them.
Speaking personally, as you only can, I guess, do you feel that there's like a limit to how far the outrageousn's can go, and beyond that it turns into something else?
Your imagination is your only limit. I don't think so. I think you can try real hard to be as philosophically and physically as outrageous as you want. Only time will tell where that will stop.